Welcome back, everybody, to the Scaled Success Reptile Podcast. How's it going? Ooh, that was a little rusty. So this is the first podcast of the year. So just getting back into the groove of things, and this is going to be a solo one. I wanted to bring some exciting news that we have coming up for 2025, a recap for 2024, and what else? And it's a little bit personal notes that I wanted to share with our viewers, the community, because I had a viewer from our YouTube channel come out and talk to me in December of last year at the Orlando Repticon, and um, we talked about something that is very close, dear, and near to me, and something that they were going through as well, that I've been through. So I wanted to touch that subject for the first time. So I've been doing the podcast going on this 2 years will be this I think February or March time frame. So like I said, um, you know, Casey Goff, what's going on? Thanks for joining in tonight, man. Casey's another big supporter of ours. Seen him at the Orlando show this past 2 weekends ago at the Orlando Repticon. Thank you for being a member of the YouTube channel. Really appreciate it. So I have another announcement coming with something about this about the YouTube channel and membership and stuff like that. So make sure you guys join in the conversation. How was everybody's holidays? Hopefully it went well. If it didn't, my thoughts go out to you. This is going to be an open forum. Let's talk a little bit of what's going on in your world, our world, and we'll tell you guys, like I said, a little recap of 2024. But before we get into that, I want a big shout out to US Ark National. If you guys keep reptiles, exotic animals, or any animal as a pet, make sure to go get a membership with US Ark National. They are the front line to fight against any legislations that will restrict keeping your pets and your reptiles, exotic animals. And then we have US Ark Florida, and US Ark Florida is a sub chapter of US Ark, and they are specifically put together to be able to fight against legislation specific to Florida. A lot of times in Florida, we are the spearhead on fighting against legislations that will be sometimes spread across the country or be the model for the rest of the United States. So make sure you guys will get a subscription for both, because you can get a subscription. You need to get a subscription for US Ark National and US Ark Florida. So go check that out. And then we have the sponsor of our podcast and YouTube channel, Sea Serpents, Racks, and Incubators. Big shout out to Chris for last year being our first sponsor of the channel. We're going to continue with 2025 as Sea Serpents being a sponsor for the channel and the YouTube and the podcast. So if you guys are looking for some really good PVC racks, incubators, make sure to reach out to him. He also does made to order enclosures, so like 4-foot, 6-foot enclosures, arboreal enclosures. So message him, contact him, and if you get the number off their website, it is directly to Chris. Great customer service, and he'll take care of you. Make sure you guys mention that Clovis Reptiles sent you over. So he does more than just racks. He does do some custom orders for enclosures and stuff like that. Then we have Husbandry Pro. If you guys want to take your record keeping to the next level, get all the information about your reptiles, how you feed, ovulations, pairings, brumation, all that stuff, check out Husbandry Pro. Use Clover's 60 for a 60-day free trial. And if you try it out, I'm pretty sure you're not going to look back. So those are the sponsors that we have for 2024, and wanted to give them a big shout out. The sponsors that we talked about today are going to continue, supporting us, our channel, and us as Clovis Reptiles through 2025. So big shout out, big thank you for both of them, continuing with us and continuing our journey in the reptile world. So guys, if you guys are here watching, drop a like, make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, say what's up. how things are going, how's your year going so far, how was your holidays, all that stuff. So, 2024 recap. Um, wow, 2024 was such a great year for us. Second breeding season, it was successful for being a second breeding season. Had about the same amount of babies as I did as 2023, um, with more females. So it does show you that sometimes things don't work out or things work out different. I'm gonna say the right way, but different. So I have more females this year, well, 2024, as I did in 2023, and ended up about give or take 10 or 15 animals lesser, more within that range. We did a lot of shows last year. We hit the expo shows, the expo scene really hard. Trying to reach out to as many as clients, as many customers, viewers, supporters that we could throughout the United States. So big thank you, first of all, to anybody that saw us at a reptile expo. Came by, say hi, talked it up with us, and especially the ones that decided to take an animal home for us from us at that show. So, like I said, 2024, let's go recap real quick. We had breeding season, 12 females to breed, and we got about 110 babies around that. I think give or take a few, but around 110 babies. I think 2023 we had 115. So, you know, pretty good season. You know, 2023 we did a few shows at, let's say, did a few shows later in the year because that was our first breeding season. So we didn't have any animals, any hognose from the prior year to carry us over for the beginning of the year. So we did that, and we did decent. Big shout out to Emilio Villarino Reptiles. He was a big help with getting us into some Repticons and Paul for Real 3D. So both of those guys have been vending Repticon local shows here in Florida, pretty consistent. So they were a good push to the right way to be able to do some of these local shows. So big shout out to them, because we have met a lot of new customers, a lot of people that are thinking about getting a hog nose, and just people that love reptiles and exotic animals through the Repticons. And I would say, let's see, I have the show list here in front of me of 2024. So we did one, two, so we'll say I think we did around 10 shows last year. So that was great. Maybe around 10 or 12, I would say. My list didn't start. I didn't start keeping a record. Here's another cool thing. In Husbandry Pro, you can do an events checklist and check in and out, and you can list the animals you're taking to the event. When you come back, you mark them sold. You can run a report of what animals you sold at that event and pull it all up, and also have just a record of what you did at these shows, so you can keep an idea of if it's a good show for you. Once you start doing multiple times, you can average out to see how you do at these shows. So we got that going on. And so, like I said, we did the shows, did pretty well with the breeding season, did good in sales. We only have this year from 2024, I'll say about like 29 hatchlings left from 110 or so. And we have about like 5 or 4 males from 2023. So if you're looking for a ready to breed male, maybe my time maker, sable, conda sables, het corals, and with conda as well. I have a few, like 2 or 3 of those each combo males available. If you're missing for a male that you need to, plug into a female this year, or if you want to backup male, which is very important to have, message us. Go check our morph market out, and message us, and we can work something out. So if you said you're ready to breed males, we got them here. What's going on, Nathan? Louisville Herps. Thanks for watching. Thank you for tuning in. like I said, big recap of 2024, what's ahead for 2025, and some big announcements for this year. So we have that, right? The shows, the sales, we met so many people. I would say through the 10 shows, and there were some shows that maybe we met 2,000 people at a time. So we'll average it out. Let's say we met 10,000 new people within the 10 shows last year that myself, my wife, or either my two daughters talked to them about hognose, about reptiles. So that was such a good experience being able to sit there and talk to people about reptiles and that maybe aren't ready to buy one that day, but are intrigued and have become a viewer of our YouTube. So thank you again for that. There's gonna be a lot of thank yous because you know there's goods and bads through the whole journey, but I'm an optimist. I always like to look at the goods, and the bads will come with it. There's none. It can't be 100% good all the time, but we are going to talk about some of those downtime, some of those rough times that we did have in 2024, and let's see what we can do about them in 2025. Because I'm a guy to let's make solutions because most things in this world have solutions. If you sit down, you have a support system, you sit down and really, make a plan on how to figure out solutions. Most things have solutions. There's probably one thing in this world that doesn't have a solution, and that's, death. But you can't bring people back to life. You can't bring animals back to life. So mostly everything else, we can have some kind of solution, some way to work it out. So shows, man, I had made a list and I forgot to bring it into the room with me. But we had the shows, right? And what else did we have last year? That was we had a new species. That was such a exciting moment. I held off until I had the hog nose breeding figured out. For the most part, there's always time to learn. I'm not saying I have it 100% figured out, but I have it, let's say 80% figured out, and there's always a 20% there's room for growth, I would say. And so once we had a second breeding season that was pretty successful, did some different things, I decided this year was the right time to add another species. So, talking about changes in 2024 and changes that came at the end of 2024 into 2025 was one of the biggest things was, and you guys, I'm pretty sure you saw it through our YouTube channel. If you guys watched the pre-recorded stuff, the vlog style stuff, we had changed all of our holdbacks, our breeder males and females into a cocoa core and sand mix for a year. You were able to mist it. They actually enjoyed it. And it was interesting to see them interact in that kind of substrate where the sand has a little more weight than shaved aspen. Um, they were able to burrow a little more. Now the upkeep was a lot more, and something that was something we needed to experience. I wanted to try it out because I've heard other people use it, and if it could be beneficial for the animal, and why not try it? And see. I always say this is almost like a science experiment where you gotta always evolve and try new things, not be afraid to try new things. As long as it's within the safe parameters, not gonna really hurt an animal. So that cocoa core sand mix, we tried it for basically a whole year. I think we switched in December. Um, you had to mist it. If it dried out, it became very sandy, very dusty. So you need to mist it and dampen it down at least twice a week for that going on. And the dust of the cocoa core was all over the place in our reptile room. And I am a very like neat freak. I like everything very clean, very and just having cocoa core dust sitting on surfaces on like this ledge behind me or like on the edge of the rack was one of the main things that I didn't like. So, you know, we decided to switch over to coarse sandy chips. And the reason we didn't do coarse sand chips before was because it was very difficult to get down here in South Florida. The distributors didn't carry it; they carried the regular sandy chips, and the regular sandy chips are very, very fine, almost like a cat litter type sub like feeling of it. And same made from Aspen, but it was very fine, and I didn't feel comfortable enough to feed my hognose on there where those very fine pieces will be able to basically cake a mice in it and then them have to swallow with all the small sandy chips on there. So we finally got talked to a distributor. Big shout out to Exotic Fire Hogs Aslan because we got together and it's about having the team, figuring things out. Um, what's going on? Vision Quest Reptiles. Big shout out to Dan and his wife. In the last video, we had his shirt. Love that shirt. I've gotten many compliments on that shirt. So thank you again for giving me that shirt last year at Daytona. So the sandy chips, we figured out with the distributor how to get them. So we buy them in bulk, and if you're in the South Florida area, you guys can get it directly from us and save about $10 if you were to order through the website plus shipping. You're about saving $10 per bag if you get it from us. So message us, DM myself or Exotic Fire Hog Excellent through Instagram or email. Message us, and if you're in the South Florida area and you're looking for coarse sandy chips, we have plenty to sell and use for ourselves. And I'll tell you this: I've been using, I say, late November we changed over, and it has been such a change. The dust that is virtually not there. There's it's a wood product, so there's going to be a little bit of dust, but it's not enough. It's not enough dust where it's settling down, on the racks or any of that stuff. Very easy to clean. Haven't had any issues with the hog nose ingesting it. What else? When our hog nose are in shed, you can spray them down, spray the aspen down, the sandy chips down, and no mold growth. So that's a big plus as well. And just overall, we really enjoy it so far. So it was worth our upfront costs of bringing in bulk. So we buy it by the pallets. So like I said, we have plenty to go around. If you're in South Florida, hit us up and we'll get you some pricing. So we did that. That was a big change. And I talked to Aslan about it. It's like, man, if I would have had 10 chips from the beginning, there's no way I would have switched. And the biggest thing in the switch was also sanitary. The sanitary of having less dust, having been able to clean, identify poop really easier. Because also another thing too, since it's more dense, it clumps up around the poop and the urate, so it's easier to pick up and go. It lasts a lot longer, so it doesn't really absorb what's it called, like the urates in the poop or water drops. If a hog nose was dump water on shaved aspen, you needed to change that out ASAP. With the sandy chips, you could let it dry out, and it's perfectly fine if you just did a change and they dump it. Big shout out via Reptiles, Emilio. I spoke about him about the shows, Repticon. If you guys are looking for some really good, some badass ball pythons, he's got from pet to top tier investments. So hit him up on Instagram if you're looking for something, or go look at his morph market. So, they made that big change. That was such a big change, and very happy with it. Now, what other thing that we did last year? Talking back to shows, Daytona. We vended our first Daytona, so that was a big must do show at the top of our list. Was vend Daytona and vend it in the main or the first room. I'm gonna say the side room, the first room. So that was pretty cool. Plan to vend again this year. And so if you're in Daytona, make sure you look for a table. Our table is pretty easy to spot. We have the green tablecloths, so very bright and easy. going to green across the board with everything. So vended Daytona, vended Dallas NRBC last year in the spring and the fall. So went to Dallas. What else did we vend? Vended in Reptilian Nation Houston. So another Texas show. Big shout out to the people in Houston and Dallas. Great customers, great people to talk to about reptiles. So we had a really good show year, and then did a whole bunch of them within the Florida, just Repticons, and Reptilian Nation here in West Palm Beach, which we have Reptilian Nation coming up, and we'll cover that in 2025. What shows we coming up? So we got that going on. Breedings, uh, last year was a very interesting year for us. I decided last year for our breeding projects to go heavy on the pet range animal hognose and combos, like Arctic albino condas, Arctic albino anacondas. We produced a lot of those things, but it moved for us. We did a lot of like I said, the shows. There's a lot of pet people right now buying hognose within those, between the 200 to like $1,000 for us was a big mover and big helper last year. So it worked out with the idea we have had of working some pet level animals, pet priced animals, and within those combos. Even though some like the AAA stuff, I have reverse stripe in it, twin spot. We did, those are good project animals to keep working those lineages and just be able to work the Arctic and the albino into like super Arctics or super Arctic albino stuff. So we had that. We made some triple heads for Acid Rain. So Acid Rains are sable, axanthic, toffee belly visuals. So last year I decided to sacrifice some visual sables and visual toxics to be able to produce triple heads for both. So we made those. We kept a good amount of females and a handful of males as well. We have one female and about like maybe 3 or 4 males still available on our morph market. So go check that out. They're very unique. The male in that pairing was an RB toxic. So the RB is transferring over to some of the babies, some of the males. And I think the female that we have left might RB. I don't remember. But those colorations are transferring over. So I think that's going to be another plus within that combo. I think that's the big thing. Even if you're just starting off, breeding, doing some pairings to set you up for down the long run. So set you up for 3, 4 years from now, 8 years from now, if there's stuff that you need to, make 2 pairings for and cross back in to make a visual and then cross back out. Don't be afraid to make those pairings. It's gonna, one thing I'll tell you, the triple heads haven't been an easy mover for us, but the upside of us having those triple heads already in our collection and growing them up already, close to almost going to, here in 2 months, they're going to be already a year old. So the males are going to be almost ready to go. The females are going to definitely need more time to grow, but they're growing from us. They're growing from our lineage. And plan just, you basically set us up ourselves up for success in the future and be able to produce some of these really cool projects that I personally enjoy seeing. And if you haven't seen an Acid Rain, Google Western Hognose Acid Rain combo. You're gonna be blown away. It's purple tints, blues, and grays all mixed in with the same. It's almost one of like you've seen those paint jobs on cars that if you look one side, it changes color as you move down the line. That's what I can describe because the picture of that animal, you can see different tones through the snake. So it's really cool to see that. So we made that. We made some extreme red lineage Arctic albino anacondas head axanthic. So that was another project that I wanted to move forward with as well, to make some extreme red snows down the line. So we have one female left from that pairing. The other stuff is going to be holdbacks. So if you guys are looking for extreme red within the snow project, take a look at our morph market. We have it up. She's available still. And that was another big project that we did. We had lavenders, lavender anacondas, Arctic lavenders. We were a little light this year on visual lavenders compared to the prior year, but hopefully this year we'll be able to, have 3 females that can produce some lavender. So hopefully we'll have more variety to be able to provide for our customers and for us to hold back. This year I didn't hold back any lavenders because they were were they from the same pairing? They weren't. They were from a different, same male, different female. But this year I have 3 males and 3 females, all different lineages that will be able to hit lavender. So if you're looking to add lavender to your projects, or you've gotten lavender from us in the previous years and looking to add another lavender from different lineage, we're going to definitely have some available this year. Or that's the plan. Sometimes breedings don't go as planned, but that's the plan. So stay tuned to our social media, to our YouTube, Instagram, especially, and see what's going on with us this year in the breeding. So that was our pairings. Pretty much it. We had some slug outs last year, and we also didn't have not even one double clutch. What was it called? This past in 2024. So that was very surprising because 2023 we had like 80% double clutches, which raised our number with, that's what raised our number in 2023 with less females, but then lowered our numbers in 2024 because we didn't have any double clutches with more females. So Ethan, unfortunately, I don't have any Mercury in the works right now. Down the line, I am. We're gonna go and work more of the lavender and toffee combo. To me personally, Mercuries, they're cool. They're nice looking animals. But I think the lavender and the Xanthic wash each other out a little too much to be one of our, forefront projects. But again, breed what you love. If you like Mercuries, go for the Mercury. But we're gonna definitely cover more lavender, toffee stuff in the future. We have stuff growing up for that, and then other projects with the lavenders. We have the lavender albinos, so the corals. And one thing I want to do, and don't hate me for this, we're gonna what's it called? I want to produce some standard lavenders. Again, for people that want a lavender pet and don't want and can't justify paying project lavender combo prices. I want to just get a normal lavender with no heads, and hopefully this year I'll be able to produce some. Just a plain lavender, no conda, maybe some conda here and there, but if we can get just a plain lavender where it can get down to the, within that, I said, like $200 $1,000 price range where people are willing to spend for a pet, I'll be really happy, because I would love to see so many like kids that are like my youngest daughter's age, between like 9, and even adults between, kids between like 9 years old and up to, adults my age, that want a lavender just as a pet, but can't go and spend $1,500 $1,200 on a combo, where that's currently the price range for the market. So that's going to be one of our main goals, that maybe we can hit lavenders and be able to have lavenders for people that just want them as a pet, because that's such a beautiful morph, recessive morph there that we have in hognose, and I think everybody should have a lavender in the collection. Casey, we do have actually we have het sable males right now. I have a anaconda het sable male, yearling, and then we have some hets from this year, but they're triple het, so they're het sable, Xanthic, and toffee belly. But definitely in what's it called? This year we will for sure have visual sables, sable condas. Everything's gonna be 100% het for toffee belly, and then double het stuff as well. So let me know if you're looking for that. message me and we can talk about it. Head hogs, most anticipate pairing. Um, I got to think about that. I'm still working out some pairings for this year, so I definitely, I have one in mind. But I got to definitely figure that out and get that talk about that. But 2024 season, closing it out, end of the year came. Big shout out to all our supporters, everybody that bought an animal from us, reached out to us on social medias. Even if you didn't buy an animal, you had a conversation to us with us about our hog nose or just reptiles in general. Anybody that supports us and loves to watch our content on either whatever platform we're on, YouTube, um, what's it called, TikTok, which we'll see what happens with TikTok here soon, um, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. Thank you again for supporting us. It's been such a year last year. We hit major milestones here on the YouTube channel. We got monetized. We hit 1,000 subscribers last year, and we're steadily still growing. So thank you again. So make sure you guys subscribe, like this channel, comment down below. So we have that going on. Ended up well. I can't complain. And one thing that I know, and I know why um I didn't have what's it called, double clutches, because being the first year of having so many shows with during our breeding season, um, I need to learn how to balance the shows and feeding and pairing and feeding adults that are breeding, feeding holdbacks, and feeding babies that I still had from 2023. That was all of a great moment for us to learn and figure out how to do that, and now sit back and look and really plan this year out on how we're going to do things, because I feel like I did miss some feedings for the females, and especially those, so those extra feedings that you need to give a female to be able to have the nutrition for them to double clutch. I think I might have missed some, and they didn't happen. So we'll see this year. I'm gonna adjust and hopefully be able to, get there, figure it out, and feed more consistently and be able to see if I get double clutches. And if I do, then we figure it out, what happened in 2024. Like I said, figure out the solution, adjust, and keep on going. So that was a big thing. You need to feed to be able to, for these beautiful animals to be able to produce for you. If you don't feed, they don't have the nutrition. That's just simple fact. They don't have the calories and nutrition to be able to, for their bodies to work, especially during breeding season for the females. You probably feed a hog nose female that's building eggs, laying eggs every other day, and she's going to take a meal. Obviously, if you do that, it can create obesity and stuff like that. But having a more consistent feeding menu and regimen can help out. Another big thing we did last year, which we went very, very dedicated on feeding diversity to our hognose. So last year I fed Reptilinks, the frog stuff, the rabbit stuff, and then we also fed quails, quail eggs, um, and then like day old Tornix quails. And then at the end of the year, we were able to get also button quails that are yearlings and like 8 month plus old hognose that we're keeping for ourselves. We're able to feed those. So that was pretty cool to add that to our feeding regimen. So that's, another thing that I'm hoping that we can help our hognose and our animals that we be have better health, longer lifespan, and also be able to, with that better health and better nutrition, be able to produce better animals and better clutches for us. So we did that as well. And some hognose, for most of the babies, take the quails. Now, I have females that are 4 or 5 years old that are very uh used to mice, and they didn't take quail. I have maybe like two females that don't like quail, maybe like three or four males that don't like quail as well. Um, but the babies that I kept for from hatchlings or that I bought from a very young age, and I started feeding quail this year, most of them took pretty quickly and really enjoy it. So that's pretty cool. And then we're going to continue doing that this year, feeding a diverse diet, especially to our breeders and our holdbacks and our grow outs. We don't do it. I don't feed them to our animals that we're going to sell, just in case the person that buys them doesn't have access to quail. And for hatchlings, even the day old button quails, like they're still too big, so they need to be at least like 30 grams or so to be able to eat those button quails. So like I said, the hatchlings are still too small, so it doesn't work out. We still have to feed them pinkies, peach fuzzies, and fuzzies. Once they get to like about like the full size fuzzy hopper size, then you can start incorporating some button quails and then the contornix quails. So like I said, we have that going on. One thing we always do is supplement with vitamins and calcium for our holdbacks and for animals that we're selling. So we start that early on for all of our animals. Once they become, especially for the babies, once they become very strong feeders, and it's pull the tub open as soon as the tub opens, they're ready to eat. Then I'll start introducing the the supplements of calcium and vitamins and the reptile vitamin, multivitamin. Before that, I always want to make sure they're well established and they're not finicky eaters before add another flavor or scent, we'll say, to a feeder baby. But like now that they're close to 6 to 8 months old, they're getting supplementation every meal for every animal that's within our household here. So you know 2024 was a great year, um and then brumation came around, and we put all of our um, proven breeders, all of our yearlings, and all of our hatchlings that we're going to hold back from this year into brumation. They just came out yesterday out of the fridge. So, that segues into the 2025 season. And at the end of the year, I've told a couple of my friends now that I feel very blessed to be able to um, have hognose and be able to brumate them. First of all, it's great for their health. It's great for breeding because it kicks them back um, into that breeding mode. But I think as well for the hognose keeper is great because it gives us a slower time of the year where our majority of our collection and our hognose are in brumation. No feeding, no watering, just down, going through their fasting period, and then maintaining the small amount of hatchlings that we have still available for sale. And within that time frame, I take a time and I hibernate as well. I slowed down on social media. If you guys saw, there was not much activity on our YouTube through mid September, December, till now, this past weekend. Um, Pull back from social media, basically reset, get some time off, enjoy the time with the family, take some vacation, enjoy the holidays, and all that stuff. I think is very, very important for your physical and your mental health. So, you know, that's a big, big part of why I enjoy having also hognose, the ability to brumate and have them um, go through that process and give us a break as well. So, you know, segueing into 2025, big season coming up. Asking our anticipated pairings. It's we'll start with that. 2025. Our one of our most anticipated pairings is Swiss chocolate pairings. Um, one of our off the top of my head right now, I think one is going to be my Swiss chocolate male to my purple line extreme red super anaconda albino possible het Azantic female. Um, so that's going to be really cool to see. We're going to hatch everything conda, and then it's going to be double het for albino and Swiss chocolate, and going to have extreme red and purple line lineage. So let's see how those normals babies are going to look. I'm really interested to see how because this year from that female I only hatch albinos and I could see the coloration, but I'm very interested to see the coloration of the extreme red and purple line pass on to their normal phase babies and see how that red coloration works with the browns of a normal phase hognose. So that's one of our top anticipated pairings. Oh, 2024, I hatched out this weird clutch out of a at the time what the pairing was, the male was triple het permafrost. So it had sable, caramel, and um hypo. The female was triple het, 66% possible het permafrost. So same, sable, caramel, and hypo. Now, the prior year, the female slugged out, no eggs from that one female. This year, we got visuals. So we got visual sables, we got visual albinos. So that was pretty cool. Well, it's cool to throw in an extra gene, but it threw us off because we have this one male that is definitely a sable albino, but has some really weird tinting color to it. Um, so I don't know if the hypo proved out or the caramel proved out on the female. I don't think it's the caramel. I'm leaning more towards the hypo. And maybe it's a albino sable hypo. So a sable hybino. Or who knows, maybe it might be the quad visual. But we'll see as time tells, that male grows. We got visual albinos, we got visual sables, and from what was in that clutch, ended up only being I think 5 babies to hatch out of like 8 eggs. So I decided to keep everything. So that was a big holdback. Um, what to call clutch there because I want to be able to keep them and see if that male is the triple visual, and both of them proved out for all that male proved out for albino, not even knowing that had albino. The female had albino, so let's see what happens. Now, I do have some suspicion that the female might be Arctic as well. So that might be messing with the color of the visual male that I got. Go check that out. We have a post on our Instagram about that clutch. It shows all the babies that I'm keeping and that came out of that clutch. So that female might have Arctic. So I'm gonna put a male to prove it out and see if we get maybe some super Arctics. So we'll see what happens there. So that's going to be another exciting pairing as well. Let's see if I get some super Arctics, Sable super Arctic stuff if she does prove out Arctic, and maybe that's what's really going on. What's going on, Jordan? Heartland Reptiles, good man. Thank you for joining in. Good seeing you here. We're still seeing what's going on this spring, Dallas. We're pretty low on available babies currently right now. So still throwing it up in the air if we're going to go to spring. But if we can get into the fall without going to the spring, we're definitely going to be there in the fall. So definitely see you there in Dallas. Thank you again for joining. So this year, pairings, that's going down. Swiss chocolate pairings is going down. Lavender pairings are going to go pretty hard this year in the paint. Gonna have 3 females, 3 males. or do I have 4 males? See, I still need to finish some pairing, solidify some pairings. Do we have 3 or 4 males, 3 females to be able to go make lavenders? So we're definitely gonna go big on that. We're gonna make some of our bread and butter albinos, albino condas, and stuff like that. And what else? I'm trying to think. And then I have one female that also was 66% het permafrost last year. That in 2023 proved out sable. This past year she proved out hypo. So this year, keeping our fingers crossed, hopefully we hit some toasted caramels. Or if we prove out, the hype. Sorry, it's not toasted. It's oxides because she's a sable hypo. So hopefully we produce some double visuals, the oxide, and hopefully we prove out the caramel and maybe get some toasted caramels and maybe even the triple visual permafrost. So that's another exciting one. One of those projects that I've been chasing since the beginning of seeing hognose, and when I saw permafrost pictures, and now that I've seen them in person, it's still one of those combos that are on top of the list to be able to produce. I can go buy one, for a hefty penny, but it's going to be really cool if I could produce them out of 66% het females that I originally bought, and see the full cycle go around. So that we have that. And what else? Let me see. Let me go through the list of females and see what else I have. Bread and butter also toxic condas are gonna hopefully we can produce this year as well. People have since 2023 that when we sold out of the Azantics and toxics, people have been messaging us for more. And like I said, last year we sacrificed making those visuals to make the triple hets. So this year we're going to go back to making those. So always looking forward to make some of that stuff. And I think that's pretty much it for right now that we have going on. Um, and then adding some other new projects to our list. Finally adding Lucy's into our projects. So that's not gonna happen this year, but it's already coming into the collection to grow up for the future. So, adding Lucy's to our stuff, adding some Lemon Ghost as well. And what else? I'm trying to see what else did any other new combos or genes that we had. I think that's pretty much it. Um, so what's going on, Ryan? Morph Valley Reptiles. So as I was talking, I know I love seeing you guys both there. It's a time that we get to hang out, our Texas and Midwest guys. We I'm not sure if I'm gonna hit March up to vent. Maybe I'll just come and hang out for the weekend. We'll see. Maybe I won't vent this one. I'll just come in and hang out and then vent in the fall. We just don't have, I think doesn't make sense. We have enough animals. But if you are going to be at the show, if you see something that you like, for our viewers, if you see something like on our morph market that you rather pick up at the show, I can send the animals over and hand them to you in person, or send them with a friend if for some reason I don't end up going, and we can work something out like that. Nixon Reptiles, what's going on, bud? Thanks for joining. Thanks. Yeah, I think those are all beautiful projects that we're talking about. Yeah, everybody, listen to Jordan. Jordan, I'll tell you this. This is another big shout out to people that have our support, that have been supporting us from day one. Jordan is a big supporter of us. Every time we talk to him, big smile on his face, always pretty easygoing, good communication, and he's got some pretty cool, if I'm not wrong, aluminum enclosures. He has arboreal stuff, and he also has bigger stuff for bigger animals. So go check out his Instagram and see what he has. We did a video at the NARBC Dallas in the fall this past year. We did a walkthrough and we had him on the video showing off his enclosure. So go check that out. Check that video out. Now 2025, other than breedings, what else do we have? I mean, that's the beginning of the year, starting the breeding. One big um, announcement I want to make today for 2025 is that we've been working and talking to other people within the reptile exotic animal industry. So I want to take this moment for to preface, what's coming 2025, and a big shout out to Blake's Exotic Feeders. And if you guys know him, Blake's Exotic Animal Ranch is going to be a official sponsor for 2025. So as we were talking, we had incorporated feeding quails. Very consistent in 2024, and luckily I'm about pretty close to him, so I can go directly to his ranch, pick up these freshly hatched and frozen quail to be able to feed my hog nose. And as you can see here in the picture, that hog nose is chowing down on a quail. So big shout out to Blake. And if you guys are looking for quails, so now he has Contornix quails that he's always had, and he has from hatchling all the way to extra large, any size in between. For you guys, Colubra guides that are looking for smaller stuff now, to feed like adult, and for the hognose people, if you're looking for quail to feed adult females, now he has a size between the day old and the small, which he's calling extra small, which is a perfect size to feed your adult females. And then the day old, you can feed your adult males. And then the what's it called? The button quails, you can feed your yearlings. So um, big shout out to Blake. Thank you for joining the Clover's Reptile and the Scaled Success Reptile Podcast family. We're definitely going to have more stuff coming from him in content, and bringing him on again to the podcast, and concentrating more on the quail uh, project that he's doing, the breedings, and seeing what got him into feeding, be able to produce quail for the reptile and animal world. Because not just reptiles, you can feed your dogs. He's supplying them to zoos, birds of prey keepers, all that stuff. So it's pretty cool. It's a very um, high dense protein meat with very low fat. So I think that's a really good additional feeder to be able to feed your animals. So go check him out. The link is in the description below to his website, where he has the quails available, and he ships all over the US. So you can order online, or you could just DM him at Blake's Exotic Feeders on Instagram, and he's gonna reach. He's gonna get you to put together an order, directly with him, and ship it out to wherever you're at. If you're not in South Florida, if you're in South Florida area, hit him up, and he probably meet you up somewhere, and deliver these quails to you, or you can go pick up, figure it out with him. But again, thank you, Blake, for the support this year and becoming one of our official sponsors for the YouTube channel, our social media, and the podcast here. So that being said, I am going to open up short-term sponsorships for the podcast this year. If you're a hognose breeder, ball python breeder, or whatever it is within the exotic animal world or animal world, and you want to support our channel, our podcast, and you want us to have you on as a sponsor, we're going to be doing monthly sponsors. So you'll get basically 2 episodes in the month, and about 3 to 4 YouTube vlogs. Your business, your products will be shouted out, shown on our YouTube. So message us, DM us if you're interested in being one of the sponsors, and we can talk out details. So we're opening that up as well for the new year, and be able to do a couple of different things. I want to do more expo, what's it called? Tours, walkthroughs, and vlog style stuff, because I really enjoy doing that one. It seems like our viewers enjoy doing the watching the expo walkthrough. So that's one I want to do something a lot more in 2025. And then for our normal vlog style informational videos that we do, I'm going to go very, very specific on keeping, breeding, taking care of hognose, and other species that we keep. So we're going to go more specific. Now, I feel more comfortable with the hognose, and I feel a little more, I say comfortable getting to that point of sharing specifics and being able to share information to the masses through our YouTube channel. We're going to do some of that stuff. So stay tuned for that kind of content. Um, and then another big thing that we're going to launch February 1st is going to be our Patreon. So, first of all, I know we have had our YouTube membership open for the last 6-8 months or so, and I want to give a big, big thank you to whoever joined. And I also want to say I did drop the ball a little bit on putting specific members content out there for you guys. Um, it didn't work. I didn't like the way it's structured for me to put content out specifically for our members. So we're moving over to Patreon, and I'm finishing up the details. So February 1st is going to be launched. And if you are already a member for our YouTube membership, you're going to get 3 months free of Patreon as just as a thank you for being able to for sticking with us through the membership, the YouTube membership, and for trying it out. We're going to give you 3 months upfront free on Patreon. Join up, and we have a lot of different things. I have a lot of different things that I wanted to do with the membership on YouTube, but just wasn't the right platform, the right way to deliver this information to our members. So, like I said, Patreon is going to be coming up. It's going to be, specific content for our Patreon members through Patreon. We're going to have a specific chat through Instagram for our Patreon members. And then we're also going to do meetings. We're going to do get-togethers through video chat for our Patreon members, probably twice a month. And then through those time through the year, I'm going to bring on other hognose breeders. Or if you're looking to maybe get into a different species, let me know and I can get on another breeder of that species and almost do a one-on-one talk to see if you can get some answers, some questions answered. So I'm really excited for those one-on-one videos, for the Patreon member videos, because I think that's going to get very interesting and be able to really learn who our members through Patrons are, and be able to get on a very personal level on what you're keeping, how you're keeping, and just be able to talk to you guys directly. So we got that going on. So that's going to be a big, big launch this year for us. Going to push hard and put a lot of content out for you guys. And, I just want to be able to support directly you guys that support me, support you directly, and help you out in any manner that I can. And if that's by, giving you some tips and some information on stuff that I've learned through, my friends that are longtime breeders of different species, or just stuff that I've learned through the years now that I've keeping hognose and breeding hognose, share with you directly through that platform. So really excited for that. So that we got going on. And then one of the biggest topics I want to talk tonight was 2025. Going to continue doing the shows. We do have one show, one expo. Nope, we don't have one every month, because in March we don't have any because it is my wife's birthday month, and um, the show that I wanted to do falls on her birthday weekend, so that was a no go. I'm gonna spend the time with the family. But in February we have two shows, and that's coming up, and that is going to be let me look at my calendar, which is which week, and I'll tell you guys now. So February 15th, 16th, Reptilian Nation, West Palm Beach. So that's going to be our first show in February. And then The following week, back-to-back shows. This is gonna be the first time we do it, and luckily it's within the same state. Um, so February 22nd, 23rd, we're gonna do Repticon Tampa. So if you see any hog nose that we have available or looking for anything specific, message us on Morph Market on Instagram, email us cloversreptile@gmail.com and ask for anything specific. Also, you can contact us through our through text or phone at 786-228-6711. And that's directly our Close Reptile number. So contact us through there and we can talk and figure out if you're looking for a specific hog nose. And we can deliver to you at either of those shows or within the vicinity of those shows. And then within the next couple days, I'm going to post the list I currently have for the rest of the months. I think out until May, we have shows within the state of Florida. And then back to the, Daytona and some out of state shows as the breeding season develops and hatchlings come and we have more animals to be able to fill up tables. So that's going on for 2025. Um, we also have something really, really big coming up within our world here. Um, Tomorrow, I'm gonna post a little sneak peek on our Instagram. So take a look at that. Tonight, YouTube members get a quick sneak peek of that. So right after we end this tonight, I'm gonna post it, give you guys an insight. But tomorrow, I'll post it on Instagram later on the day, give you guys an insight of what's going to go on with within our world here. And another big thing that I want to talk about that, how reptiles has impacted our family. So the Clovers reptile family started with myself, my wife, my two daughters, a few years back now. And last year I said was such a wonderful year. Production, support, connecting with people around the country that I've talked to back and forth, going to, get-togethers at some of these shows or after the shows, cementing those bonds that we're in person that we've built through social media and through messaging and text was really, really cool. And hopefully this year we can continue to grow, continue to make new friendships, continue to make new business relationships as well. So, got going on. And one of the biggest things is, 2 years ago, going on 3 years ago, through refining my passion in the reptiles through my daughters that pushed and pushed to get a hognose pet. Um, you know, I sat down one day and like a lot of us, I had iguanas. You guys probably heard the story. I had iguanas when I was younger, was an animal person as since I can remember. Um, and so 2020, 2021 going to 2022, I was very unhappy in my current job, um, my current situation where I was. I think the job had to do a lot with it, not really being passionate or really wanting to do that job. It was just a good paying job that was decent at. Wasn't a bad company, nothing like that. But it was one of those jobs that would wake up and be like, all right, I got to go to work today. Let me get up, do the things, and go to work, and counting down the hours until I was done with work. Um, I was with that company for about 6, 7 years, um, different positions, promotions, all that stuff. So it was good, but it wasn't something I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And I had gotten to that, stuck into that rut of, all right, I'm getting a good paycheck. It supports my family, supports our, lifestyle, everything else. I was comfortable there until the reptiles came back into my life. And having that pet made me go back and look at what's it called? The Start researching animals again, like I used to when I was younger, when I was a kid and when I was in high school, before adult world took over, and it reignited that passion, that fire within me to care about animals and to have animals within my home, and to not sets of like, oh, I didn't care about animals, but like be the caregiver for those animals, be the provider for those animals, and the day to day. And the reptile world was that window that opened up again, that door that opened up again, and I couldn't wait to get more and more and more information about these really cool Western hognose that we had got. And once I found Morph Market, big shout out to Morph Market for how it started, where it's at now, um, and I started researching morphs. And big shout out to um, Ectotherm Empire, Andrew and Aaron. That was one of the websites that had a decent listing of hognose morphs that I would go and look at. Toxics was one of the first combo that I said I had to have it. And back then it was still pretty expensive, so I didn't buy any. But I was like, one day I'm gonna make them. So that being said, the journey of to where we're at today has been great. Nothing's perfect. There's ups and downs. We've lost an animal or two here and there. Just breeding, egg binding, just not kicking back after breeding. That's been the biggest thing, where we lost an animal. And again, nothing's perfect, but the benefits of that is given myself, my family, the happiness is giving outweighs those small, um, you know, negatives that we've experienced. The reptile community has welcomed us with wide open arms, have made so many friends through here. Um, you know, Before that, I wasn't um, so much of a talkative person. I'm still working at it. But when I get together with my reptile friends and I get together here in front of you guys and be able to talk, I'm a chatterbox. And maybe I talk too much sometimes, and you guys might want to say, hey, that's enough. But I want to get my information out to you guys and be able to reach out enough people. And one of the biggest things that I'm talking about a topic today that I've never talked publicly to, on a mass like this, especially on our YouTube channel, or to random people and very small group, even of our reptile um, close knit group knows about this and stuff like that. But I want to talk something that was this I've had for for a while for my life and stuff like that. Not the rest of the while of my life, but like as an adult through marriage, being father, all that stuff. And this started because I spoke to one of our viewers, and I'm not going to name names because I want you guys to be able to feel to come and be comfortable and talk to me if you guys feel that you can confide in me, and we can talk something out within what's going on in your world, or maybe something that's connects us. Come in over and talk to me. Like I said, DM me, call me, text me, email me if that's what you want to do. But I'm always here to support everybody that supports us. And even if you just new and you found us and you want to talk, I'm willing to talk. I'm willing to have an open ear for you guys. I had a viewer that I met at the Orlando Repticon in December for the first time that I can remember. I might have met him before, but this time was different. If I did meet you before, this time in December was different because we had a very, very deep conversation. And it started off with, hey, man, I watched the YouTube channel. Me and my family really enjoy it. Great job and stuff like that. I was like, oh, appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Like I said, I support people that support us and giving us good feedback, and give us feedback. If you say, hey, maybe you can do this different, maybe this would be better. I'm open to criticism. I'm open to constructive criticism. I'm a person that I can always learn something new. I'm willing to grow. So reach out to us, tell us something. It's either that in our display in our shows, um, in our YouTube, our social media presence, whatever it is, our breedings. Reach out to me. I'm never gonna shut down an idea. I'll at least listen to it, talk about it, and then I'll make a decision off of that, right? So open to open criticism, but this wasn't criticism. This was, a thank you. You know, you're doing a good job. I like your content, and that's always good to hear, because it does take time and effort to be able to continue to do these podcasts, to be able to continue and do the YouTube. There is moments that I would say, maybe I'm not going to do it, or I don't want to do it today. But that conversation did definitely change my view on doing these podcasts, doing the YouTube, and being a presence on social media. And this gentleman is a fellow vet. And for our viewers or just tuning in that don't know, I'm a Marine Corps veteran. My wife's a Marine Corps veteran too, as well. And I'm a Marine Corps combat veteran. So I've seen combat, been to Iraq and Afghanistan. So in some of the videos, it's called a shadow box, that I have on this side of the wall. In some of the videos, you can see it. It has some of my awards and medals that I got through my time in the Marine Corps. And he mentioned it. He goes, "Oh, I saw your shadow box in one of the videos." He asked me, I was a Marine. I said yes. He said, "Oh, I was as well." And he goes and tells me that right now, at that moment when we talked, when past and within the last couple days or weeks, he was going through a hard time. He was battling his, I would say, like, his demons, right? Like that rock, that weight that you have on your shoulders and your chest, um and that weight and that shoulder that he has was PTSD. um and one thing, like I said, I've never talked much about this, and I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm not looking for you guys to look at me different, but I also have PTSD, and I've dealt with PTSD, and um, the way that I, um, like, the symptoms or the way that it affects me is different that it can affect different people in this world. I've also lost 5 friends that I served with from the battle of PTSD and the mental health battle. So I think this was a perfect, like, segue, a perfect moment to show that, we don't know what somebody's going through. We don't know where somebody's mindset or health, physically or mentally, emotionally, is at. Um, be a good person. Be willing to talk to that person. Even if you're not on your best, maybe your worst can be their best, or it could be better than where they're at, right? So we sat down and talked, and he told me, one big thing that made the difference was, man, it's good to see someone like us actually being successful in social media within the reptile world, and seeing that, he's like, you seem like you're doing pretty well. And I would say yes. Compared to some of my friends that, rest in peace, lost the battle, I'm doing very, very well. Um, that being said, I do have my battles. Um, there's moments that are, you know, they're not here all the time. There's moments that I'm down here. But luckily, from day one, I've had a great support system. And main support system is my wife. Big shout out to her. That's helped me through this journey of figuring PTSD out, and learning the triggers, the symptoms, how it affects me, being able to talk to my friends, you know, um, through the years that they deal with it and day in, day out. And the reptiles back to 2021, 2022, changed a lot for me. And once I left my regular job, and I'm not telling you, if you don't have the means, do not leave your job. If you have a family to support yourself, Um, but do take care of your mental health. Do take care of your health first, because if you can't help yourself, you can't help anyone else in your life. And I decided I was going to leave the job and I was going to pursue reptiles full time and social media full time and all that stuff. And I don't look back at it one bit. Um, because it helped me. This reptile room, working with the animals, it is my Zen time. It is the knowing that I got to get up every morning and either change waters, feed, handle them, what's it called, pairing, all that stuff has made such a big help in my health overall, and that transfers to the health of my family. And then the freedom that's given me to be able to spend time with my family, to be able to take trips and travel to reptile shows as a family. If you've seen this Ven, like West Palm Beach in February, you're going to see the whole closed reptile family there, all four of us, and we're going to be vending together. If you've seen that, it's pretty cool to watch. Not just because of my family, but I love seeing any family event together. It's really cool, especially when the kids and the wife are involved, or if it's the wife that's doing it mainly and the husband involved. It's really cool to see a whole family can come together and share that one passion. So I want to say, for you, if you're watching, um, thank you for, bringing that up to me, giving me the courage to open up, to you, to the viewers, and to publicly to open up to, to this part of my life, that I keep not very private. Is just that I don't talk about it much, just because it's just me. You get me to be me. You get I'm not different. Um, I am more talkative about reptiles, but generally I'm the same person. Um, at home, at reptile shows, within my friends group, reptile or non-reptile friends. So you did give me a push to be able to do this, talk about this, and to continue to do it, because maybe if I quit today, um, I won't be able to reach that one person that needs, a little push to get to the right directions, or doesn't or needs a motivation or the insight of somebody else that's dealing with the same thing. Um, and again, mental health is such a big important thing. It's nothing to, push to the side, because if your mind isn't right, your body isn't right, and your emotions aren't right, it's all one thing that works together. And you got to, along with exercise, of your body, of your mind, your emotions, talking to people, it's all very important. So big shout out to that. Like I said, hopefully you guys don't look at me different or treat me different, because I am who I am, at this point in my life. What is it? I got out of the Marine Corps in 2011. So going on 14 years. I've learned how to manage it, how to deal with it, how to deal day to day with in life. But again, the reptiles have been such a big boost and help to my world, and to, pushing me to continue forward in just the day to day, to strive to be better for myself, my family, and now for you guys as well. If you're watching this and you need some kind of words of encouragement or some kind of insight, I'm here to talk. Message me. Let's talk about it. Because I said, I've lost friends to the battle, and I don't want to ever, get a phone call or hear through the grapevine, hey, this person did, we've lost him, or something's happened because of that. Um, you know, Reach out, find a support system. Support systems are a must. You can't do this alone. I've told this to plenty of my friends, Marine Corps friends that deal with it. We're each other's support system. But then also too, within the regular world, you need friends, you need family members to be there, because life is not easy. Life is not perfect, and life will throw some hardships through at you, and you know push you to your limits. But if you have, behind you somebody, a group of people, either your loved ones, your husband, your spouse, your siblings, your parents, or whatever it is, your children, your friends. If you have somebody supporting you, you have a better chance of getting ahead of that, to coming out through the other end and figuring it out. I'm a big logical thinker, big common sense thinker of, okay, we got this problem, let's figure it out. Not to sound cliche, but the Marine Corps taught me adapt and overcome. If there's not a door, we'll make a door. Strap some C4 to a wall, and magically, in a couple seconds, you have a door, you have an opening. So I try to live life like that as well. But there is those moments that wall, it's there, and it's harder to make that opening. But knowing that the ability there is there keeps you pushing, keeps you going. So that's where I wanted to end tonight. Big thank you, big shout out to all our supporters. Big shout out to our sponsorships, Sea Serpents, Blake Exotic Feeders, our partnership with Husbandry Pro, because they've been supporting us for especially the sponsors and partnerships that was supported us last year and continue to grow for us. Thank you very much. If you're here watching, thank you. We'll see you guys next week. We have a really good podcast about hognose. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that and keep an eye and put it on your schedule. But again, we'll see you guys on the next one, and love you guys. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you next week.